lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. 'Cause I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, oh, and I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, oh, la 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 la. La 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 la. 'Cause I've been driving this train. years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stop.
Yeah, and I've been going and going and going, and those in the chat didn't even told me tell me that they cannot hear me. But that's, by the way, I do hope you're all doing well. Apologies for that. It was the signal was showing properly, and I'm not sure why you guys weren't hearing me. But I've toggled the signal. Hopefully, you can hear me right now. So today we will talk about Chelsea's home game against Aston Villa that we won convincingly. It wasn't even close. We could have scored a lot more goals, and had we scored one more goal, we'd be, I think, second in the table. But you can say we were a bit unlucky not to have scored a lot more goals. But despite the way, I'm going to say hello to you once again. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. I do hope you're all doing well. For me, it's noon, 10 minutes after 12. Yep. So I can't say Blue Morning Show again. Wickler Barish, I expected Jackson to score, and he did. Yeah, he's been scoring consistently right now. The question is, we should the only thing left would do is to compare the volume of chances that came his way that came his way that he fluffed maybe. Big up to you too. Thank you for joining. Yep, I realized that was the case. I toggled it, and now Vic is telling me that you guys can hear me. Big up to you too, Vic, and big up Mabas, my Iraqi bro. I do hope you're doing well. Vic, nice to see you. No audio fixed right now, but thank you for saying that. I appreciate you. I hope Tosin starts against Southampton with Fofana injured. I hope Tosin steps up. He may well not start. We could see what was the last game? The game was it against Leicester City? We played with a back three, and it was okay, Fofana was available. So yeah, Tosin will start definitely. Yeah, so it makes sense. Let's see the audio. Yeah, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Big up to you to Tosin. Doesn't have pace. He was nervous against Liverpool. Fofana was a big miss. I wouldn't say Tosin was nervous. His as cool as ice. Was never nervous. I think I can't quite remember what led to him being subbed off after first half. I can't quite remember, but I wouldn't say he's quick actually. Just acceleration maybe doesn't accelerate quickly. Let's see what else we have here. Chelsea will be facing Mokambi. Once again in the FA Cup third round, just like 2021 when we battered them by 4 goals to nothing at Stamford Bridge 3 years ago. Yep. Saludos to you too. Gracias, amigos. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. The reason why I want Tosin to start it's because he offers a stability and leadership in the back line. Obviously, yeah. He's the most experienced. I think he's older than this. I see. I can't quite tell, but he's experienced in the Premier League. Also reads the game very well. His passing range is excellent. Doesn't you could say go into tackles just like Fafana doesn't get dribbled easily. He's an intelligent player most of all, and I really do like that. But we'll see. We get to that. We us and Arsenal are both second, yeah, and they are above us in the table. Yeah, alphabetical order. Yeah. So had we scored one more goal, would be at both them. We're equal in everything actually. Goals scored, goals considered. Yeah, it's crazy. Leslie is coming back, I think, coach, in January. Southampton doesn't want him, and he's not happy too. He's wiped his profile off of anything related to him being at Southampton. That kid is actually an excellent player in my opinion. He's just unlucky. We have a few. We have players within our ranks that we paid a lot more money for than we paid for him, which means the manager he'd have no option than to prioritize fielding those players. It would take Leslie Chiku exhibiting exceptional form for the manager to prioritize him over the likes of Enzo Fernandez or Romeo Lavia. But that's a good player in there. But I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's see what else we have here so we can go news hunting, come back and talk about the game proper. If Dante had the same bad audio as good, the people in the chat would like, yep, Dante is using care. Yeah, nobody likes Dante, and I think he knows that. Yeah, I'm just kidding anyway. All right, let's start looking at it. I think this is more of the structure. Forget it. I know you can say the starting structure was presented as 4-2-3-1, but it's actually 4-2-2-3, more like a box midfield. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Let's go news hunting, and I'm gonna refresh this in case anything new emerged since I lined up the items we have to discuss. I keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And by the way, I'm drinking a very delicious yogurt. Mm. It is good. It is good, seriously. Okay, let's see. He says Sanchez did well. He did really well. We could have considered. I thought when what's his name? Ollie Watkins had that 1v1. What that 1v1 opportunity against him. I thought that was it. That was it. I thought it was going to. The game at the time was going to be 1-1 because I trust Oli Watkins. His again, I'd say today I'd go to the extent of saying he's probably one of the most underrated strikers in the Premier League, and I thought that was it. It was going to be one all at the time. Yeah, but shockingly. He didn't even do well enough. Didn't even beat the goalkeeper. I think he was trying to you can say to slot it through between his legs, and yeah, he was clever enough to stop it. But that's by the way, news hunting time. We'll come back. We'll start talking about the game. We'll talk about players, player performances, the managers, the lineup. At first, everybody was shocked, but if you before that time, if you understood how the manager likes to approach the game, you would have known that there's no way Moises Caicedo will be stationary in a fullback. He probably most definitely will invert and will be, you could say, operate mainly in the center, in the midfield area, not really in the right back position. But it was a genius strategy because Villa they couldn't play. They weren't able to play their football. And see how many times we forced them into error in dangerous positions, actually, that had we been clinical on the day, yeah, we could have scored 3 goals from ball winning positions and in the final third. But that's, by the way, it's the one with I'm not gonna promote their products here, so let me just leave it. Okay, he's saying I don't think Mudrik can start on Wednesday. Listen, yeah, there's been space between that. That's how many days between yesterday and Wednesday. That's about 3 days or so. Okay. Houston. Uh, at some point that changes. You can say mid December ish, or when the games will start coming in thick and fast. The manager he'd have no option than to rotate. And good thing that the rotation has actually worked for us. Uh, we start every game with fresh and well rested players. You could argue we had that advantage against Aston Villa too. But I'm not trying to downplay how well we played on the day. We were just brilliant. And you can say that's uh, uh, one of the best performances from a Chelsea team for a while now, for 2 3 years. Honestly, we were that good. I'm not just gonna, because Aston Villa, they have a very tight schedule given the Champions League and the Premier League, and downplay how well we did on that day. We were just brilliant. It takes a smart manager to figure out a way to stifle an opposition team to an extent that, yeah, they can't play their football. The Prince is here. Nice to see you, the Prince. I do hope you're doing well. Big up to you too. What a good time to be a Chelsea fan. Yep. Um, Again, I've always told people we just need to be patient. We have the squad. If we get a good manager, then yeah, and I think we've gotten our man. Yep. Let's go to the presentation window. Then we'll start addressing the items we have lined up. Not too much of that. We'll do that briefly and then come back to discussing the game. And then once we're done with the review exercise, we go back to news hunting. Yeah, not so much is happening right now. So what we do is pay attention to what's going on out there. If anything new emerges, and then you hear about it from us. Give me one. All right, and we have the legendary Bobby in the house. So, Bobby, thank you for joining me. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to be with me on the panel. We want to go news hunting first, and then we'll come back and talk about the game. Excellent performance, a professional. We didn't take them for granted. We were prepared, knowing that, yeah, they've been, you can say, kind of a bogey team for us in recent seasons. But that's, by the way, in recent, you can say, months maybe, because that happened in just two seasons. Let's see. Yep, news hunter Jorgensen training as an outfield player. That's because, yeah, we play out from the back a lot, so it makes sense for them to train that way to hone their ball playing skill. And what I'm going to read in a bit, and now if I read 2 3 commentaries from pundits or football commentators, I'll have Bobby speak about how quickly their tone have changed. They speak of Chelsea in positive light. I remember, was it Carragher saying he doesn't see anything exciting about our team, and a lot of them now are saying, "Yeah, we have an exciting young talent," and even he's eating his own words. So the first comment here is ex West Ham star Nigel Ryokokan. I think it's pronounced Nigel Ryokokan. I remember him. I don't see them forcing themselves into a title argument, but they are definitely up there in that top four conversation. They look like a new team now. They look really good. They do still have a moment of vulnerability, but their attack, were very important from an offensive perspective. No denying that. The truth remains we're not quite there yet, irrespective of how well we're doing. You can say it'd be delusional to argue that, yeah, we've arrived. And I like it that the manager, I think he feels the same. If you're paying attention to how he responds to people arguing that we're in the title race, can they just let us be underdogs in peace? Honestly, let us be underdogs in peace. Enough of the title. Enough of the title challenge. So whether we're technically in the title in the title race or not, just let us be underdogs in peace. Then ex-Man City midfielder Michael Brown on Chelsea. It is good to see smiles back on faces at Chelsea because there has been a lot of rubbish for a long time. There word that, so he's not saying we've been a lot of rubbish. I'm guessing he's trying to say there's been a lot of rubbish said about Chelsea for a long time now. It is a group of really exciting young players, and they just need to get a bit more confidence and maturity. And you can see, I think we have that a bit of that bravado and confidence about us. We don't. Our players, even I think, what's his name? Levi Cowell did say something to that effect. Has the manager is you could say he's instilled confidence in them. They go into games with confidence, knowing how they want to play. That's good. And Chris Wise, this Chelsea team is hitting a different note this season. There's a hunger about them, and it is contagious. But what is obvious is that it feels like there's growth again at Chelsea, and it has been a while since you could genuinely say that. So I'm going to stop there right now and get Bobby's opinion. And we have Constantine Dante in the house. Dante, I appreciate you for finding the time to be with us. Bobby, your thoughts? How quickly you can say they're changing their tone. They they speak positively about Chelsea right now. But I'm gonna even though I believe that technically we're in the title race, but if you look at things from the perspective of where we are with our development, with our project, we're not there. Yeah, we're still a very young side, developing, maturing gradually. But I'd say, can they please let us be underdogs in peace? But big up, Bobby. Let's hear you, and thank you for joining.
Yeah, big up, coach. I think you got Dante there. Coach, listen, positive results give positive commentary and a positive outlook. That's for sure.
Mm.
But let's not kid ourselves. Our enemies are still out there. You know, Simon Jordan was the one person close to saying it that said, look, Maresca's right. Any talk of title, race, and all that, especially now, is ridiculous. He said if you are come April, you have 3 points from the top, then you can start talking of title race, but not now. He said this is still a team in development and they're doing well. If anybody wants to talk about a race, if you must talk about a race, top four race is about the only thing I will find anywhere near acceptable. But I don't think we should be having any of these conversations. Look, we have our enemies for sure, still. A lot of them are just lurking in the woods waiting for something to happen. We know who they are. Some of them pretend to be Chelsea fans and we know what they come up with. Already one or two of them is trying to snipe with lies about Nkunku. That's the one they want to try and throw in the mix. They're relishing the injuries to Reece James and Wesley Fofana. Yeah, they love it. You know, anything that puts Chelsea in any sort of negativity or weakness, that's where they are. That's where they want to thrive. Nkunku's going nowhere. I'll hang my hat on that. Absolutely nowhere. He's fully contracted, well paid, and if anything, if we're in the Champions League, that cements it even further. The only person that could want to get rid of him is Chelsea itself, unless he comes out with some robust statement about leaving, but then still the ball is in our court because we hold his contract and we're
And
paying
the
his
manager,
wages.
he's openly said that yeah, we're not looking
That
to
is,
sell him.
yeah, exactly. So let's not go there. But some of the so called Chelsea pretenders are trying to make a story of that because the only way they can make a story is to find something damaging to say about Chelsea. Look, we're not in the title race. We are not. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm still waiting for
But
that
Bobby, can you break it
pundit.
down how people will understand why we're not into title race? Because mathematically, we're there. And where
Well,
we are,
Maresca,
our position in the table says
Well,
we are, but there are
look,
strong reasons why we shouldn't say we are. That's
well,
what
we
I
can't.
wanted to break it down in a manner that even an average fan will understand. I think it
Well, we
make more
can't.
sense to them.
Simon Jordan has said it. Maresca has said it. We're a young team. We're coming up against Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, teams that have been together for years. Some of them as long as 9 years plus. More mature players, well integrated. We're not yet there. Are we getting there? Yes. Have we done well so far? Yes. But to throw an expectation that we are that team that's in the title race is ridiculous. Maresca himself said these people have played finals and gone a journey together. We have not done that. And that takes me into the other point I'm trying to make. And that is
Mhm.
that I am still waiting for that pundit who's going to come out. Yeah, it's all very well saying, "Oh, Chelsea are doing well now. They're going," but let's keep it 100. That same Chelsea was always there.
Go ahead,
Yes,
Roddy. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
yes, the manager has instilled one or two new things, but injuries, and I underline that word, injuries, horrendous injuries last season prevented us from seeing anything anywhere near this. Even people like Enzo had to play on with injury. So let's keep it 100. This is a developing team who has gone into its first season with any semblance of a team. We're still carrying injuries now. They still can't play players back to back vis-a-vis Lavia, who I'm sure will not play against Southampton. I'm hoping they have the good sense to put Palmer on the bench and certainly Neto on the bench. These guys are maybe less so Palmer. The people like your Netos and your Lavias, and so on are a little bit injury prone at the moment. We have Badiashile just coming in from a long season injury and slowly trying to find his feet and even develop as a young player. So there are many mitigating circumstances as to why Chelsea shouldn't expect to be in the title race despite the position we've managed to achieve, which is good to keep us in the top four race. Having said all this, if by some, I won't say miracle, I would say act of good form, good fortune, good planning, we find ourselves overcoming this Christmas period successfully, getting into January. I mean, we can't even be sure of winning our next four games. People say, "Oh, they don't look difficult." Yeah, we've got Southampton, then we've
That's
got
when I get
Tottenham,
concerned.
then we've got Southampton, Tottenham. Who else? Brentford. I've forgotten the other one over the Christmas period. Is it Newcastle? One of these awkward teams. Who have we got over? Fulham. These are teams that, yes, we're capable of winning, but they are difficult teams. There's no easy team in the Premier League. If we keep our consistency and go through a series of winning, then what I will say, put a winning run together, then what I will say is, okay, we're well and truly in the top four hunt. But to start saying, "Oh, Liverpool, we're going to start challenging Liverpool in all the form they're in," even Man City, even Arsenal, I think is very unrealistic. Even if we sat top of the league, I wouldn't say we're in the title race. I really wouldn't. I'll just say, okay, we're doing well, we're in top four, but at the top four race. But the test of the pudding is in your track record of longevity. We've not had that yet. Now, is it possible for us to go all the way? Well, absolutely. If we continue on a winning run and keep ourselves in the hunt, then it is possible. Is it likely? No, it's not likely because the youthfulness and the inexperience might kick in. So we'll never know till we know with this team, whether they like it or not. All this title hunt is people trying to, they're always looking for a weakness with Chelsea. What can we say to put them under pressure? Which player can we unsettle now and put news out there that, oh, he's unhappy, he wants to go? Nobody else talks about anybody else's players in that vein. We've got to ride ahead of that now. I think the new fan base, most of which I would look at as somewhat new, the Chelsea new fan base now have to show their wisdom and not fall for this nonsense all the time. Oh, X, Y, Z. It's always our best players. They never talk of the fringe players or anything like that. It's always the best players. Oh, he's unhappy. He's got to go. Then the same old clubs come up. What is it? Real Madrid, Bayern. All this BS. It's absolute BS. We're not in that business. We're here to build a solid team that can last for years at the very top, and that doesn't happen by selling your best players, and neither does it happen by benching your best players. With the next game, we've got to be able to use our rotation. We've got to be able to have players. Yeah, FA Cup draw against Morecambe. That's a good first draw for the squad. We've got to have players that are able to walk in seamlessly, and we can do that. For example, we can play Nkunku up top instead of Jackson. Put Jackson on the bench. We can play Felix instead of Palmer. Put Palmer on the bench for the next game. It's no disrespect to the other team, because those are bloody good players. Anybody would be happy to have them. But we've got to exercise that in order to keep the team fresh and injury free. The thing I said at the beginning of the season on this platform, coach, is that injuries and fitness is the key to our season. If we stay fit and we continue to progress together, well, anything can happen. The sky's the limit.
Indeed. Indeed. Thank you so much, Bobby. I'm going to catch up with what we have in the chat, then we'll go back a bit of news hunting, a few items there. Then we get back to the match preview exercise proper. What do we have here? And Vicky saying Simon Jordan said we are in the title race, but he also stated it would be insane for Maresca to admit that at the moment. I think he's a smart guy. Even before the argument about the title race became a thing, whenever you ask him questions, his responses are almost always balanced or measured. However, whatever language you prefer, right there. I think he's a smart guy. Would he again? He'd be happy to win it, but he doesn't want to put that pressure on his players, and probably would prefer to, you can say, move under the radar as underdog. And I've said, can we just let us be underdogs in peace? But yeah, irrespective of how you see it, the truth remains from the perspective of where we are with our project. It's not. Again, one cannot say, yeah, we're definitely winning it if we're being honest to ourselves. But that's, by the way. Let's see what else we have here. Just go away, man. Leave me alone. With the man and Enzo appreciation post, I'm one of his biggest fans. So that's not going to come from me, but I would do that anyway. Simon Jordan and O'Neill agreed that Maresca was making the right move in playing down his team's form. And the shocking thing is some Chelsea fans don't understand why he's doing that. They want him to say, yeah, we're going to win it. Yeah, we have the squad strong enough. Yada, yada, yada. And he's lying to you. I get it. He said we're making progress. I get it. He said, yeah, we're ahead of time with regards to the measure of progress we've made so far and the direction we want to go, where we're at. But it wouldn't make sense for him to say, yeah, we're in the title race, because, yeah, it's important to realize that we're a very young squad, still maturing, still developing, lacks experience. I get it. I'm one of those to quickly tell you that usually we use experience and age interchangeably. We do have good enough experience, to be honest, but not quite there yet, if that makes sense. That's what else we have here. Ask him again in March if Chelsea are 3 points behind the league leaders. Jordan quipped, yeah, it makes sense. Even Bobby did say here, yeah, after Christmas, if we navigate the the tight Christmas schedule when the games will be coming in thick and fast, and in January we're still where we're at right now, and the disparity in points isn't beyond 10. Then yeah, one cannot deny that we're in the title race.
I
Yeah.
didn't even say January, coach. I said in April, if we're
Oh,
three
okay,
points
in
off,
April.
then
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can
yeah.
start talking title race. We're
Mhm.
not in the title race now. We're not ready yet. That's just the reality.
Yeah, the readiness is the most accurate language to use in explaining why we're not in the title race. We're not ready yet. The youngest, and for reasons I've mentioned before, but let me know. Continue repeating myself. Where we have the captain in the house. I don't want him to quit on us. Dante, big up to you. I appreciate it. And AB, big up to you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. We can't afford to rotate for our next game. It's too important. I don't think we'll rotate in the next one because there's a few days. Still, we may have to. Even if we rotate, I think we'll still be all right. But we'll still have the big guns on the bench in case that things don't go our way. But yeah, let's hand over the mic to the captain of the house. Let's hear you, Dante. You met the argument. You can come in wherever you want to. The Bobby, you could say he elaborated when he was speaking about how the pundits and football commentators they all now speak positively of Chelsea Football Club, the progress we're making, how well the manager's doing, and all that. But let's hear you wherever you want to comment. It's your stage now.
Yeah, big up, coach. Big up,
Big up
Bobby.
to you too.
Everyone in the chat as well. Yes, yeah. Sorry, my son woke up a bit early, so I had to put him
You
back to
don't have to
bed.
say sorry about that. He's important. He's
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't
yeah.
wake up again. We'll see. If he is, I'll let you know. I'll have to get off and then just be on the chat maybe for a bit. Um, we're in the title race. The way the table is at the moment, because we're basically second, joint second, third, however you want to call it. The way the table is set up and where we are in the table, we're in a title race at the moment. But yeah, I agree, of course, with Bobby and everyone else. Of course, we
Yeah,
need to
of course, you
navigate.
have to mention Bobby's name and qualify me as everyone else. Just go ahead.
Yeah. Bobby and the other people and the other person I won't. And yeah,
Me and Dante are in the same gang,
I
coach. So
noticed that. I
you,
noticed that. I
you're an
don't know how that
outsider.
happened.
You're an outsider.
look, once we get through the Christmas, December and January, probably end of January around then, and if we're still in that sort of second position, third position, then maybe once that gets, and the points are not like, it's not like 20 points difference from the first, and it's still like 6 points or whatever, 9 max probably. Yeah, then definitely, then you can probably say yes, we have a chance 100%. But as it stands now, just because the way the table is and where we're positioned at the moment, it looks like we're in a title race. But ultimately, I think that we'll decide that later on. I still think we're just not quite there yet. We're still a little bit of experience. And we do struggle normally against the lower teams. And that's pretty much our December. Most of the December's to mid team that yeah, that's what where we normally struggle. So if we get through those and pick up those points quite well, yeah, well then it's a different story. Like I said, end of January it'll be a little bit different. We can definitely then say we're in a title race if it's like 6 points. If 6 points off the top, then 100%. With 2 to 3 months to go, and you're 100% in the conversation. Then, not to say we're not now. Like I said, how the table is, but yeah, unfortunately, I want to see a lot more from us, and I want to see definitely more the tests coming up, quite a little bit more.
I don't think we've actually been able to show consistency still.
Yeah, look, we're better than last season. There is still quite a few little issues to sort out, and back the low block games, especially against Crystal Palace, against Bournemouth, against those teams, we struggled in those games quite a bit. It took Sanchez to help us rescue us in one of those, and then yeah, it took a bit of luck in some as well. So that's why I want to get through the December, January period and see when we take that opposition on and to see how we do with that opposition again. Once we get past those and we can navigate those and pick up the points, then then I'll be a lot more confident saying we're 100% in the title race.
Sorry, did we lose Dante? I just had to go take care of something quickly.
No,
But
I'm good. No,
despite,
I thought that was me disconnected, but it looks like you went somewhere. Okay.
yeah,
I finished my
okay, yeah, go
little
ahead.
yeah, I finished, coach. I'm good. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
All right, this here talks about Chelsea to host. How do you pronounce that? Is that Mokambi? Mokambi in the first round of the FA Cup at Stamford Bridge. I don't know that team. I have
Oh,
to be
Morecambe.
honest with
It's
you.
Morecambe.
Morecambe.
Yes.
The E is silent.
Yes.
Okay. So nothing else here to address. Man United Charles Brent White all summer, and the brother. Okay, that's Vince's opinion. I don't want to read his opinion right now. Chelsea are one of the clubs interested in AC Milan star Tijani Reinders. Do you know him, Dante? Okay, it looks like Dante isn't ready to speak right now. Maybe I just cannot hear from him. If you're in the chat, if you know him, let us know. What's going on here? What's happening to the window we're sharing? Okay, give me a second here. This guy here. Okay, there you go. Chelsea are one of the clubs interested in AC Milan star Tijani Reinders. I don't know him. Dante, do you know him well enough to talk about him? All right, Dante looks like he's not connected. I can't hear anything from him. Any other news item here to talk about? Tim Sherwood, and what else is this? Korea and Enzo Fernandez and Alan Shearer's Premier League Team of the Week. No surprises there. The two of them, they were excellent on the day. Even Palmer did well enough, but if he hadn't scored that goal, I don't think I'd say he did well, saying he did well enough. Even Bobby was actually arguing that he should be taken off, and then boom, the next second he scored a goal. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bobby. Was that the case on that day? All right, let's
Yes,
see.
yes. On the 81st minute, I thought, you know what, he hasn't had a great game. He's obviously not quite on form. I thought it was prudent to just bring on Felix. We wouldn't have lost anything at
Yeah.
all by doing that. And then bang, he scored. But he still came off anyway, and Felix still came and did what we knew he would do. So I think it's more of an indicator as to what will happen in Southampton. I'm sure we should start with Felix in that one, if you're not playing them together. And I think it's best to have Palmer a little bit more rested. Let him overcome whatever it is he's struggling with at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. And here's something else I want us to look at here. Very important. I hope it loads quickly. I hate it when it does this. The blank screen and the preloaded there, preloader. You could say symbol for lack of, because it doesn't. It's nothing there really. Give me a second here. Wow. All right, let's do this. Let's get to this place. Stay here. We played, or the structure that's more like it, like this. I know the starting structure was 4-2-3-1, but if you paid attention to the application, we have something more of a box midfield. I can't speak. So the structure overall, you could say the application structure, you can argue the applied structure on the day, you could argue is 3-2-2-3. Yep, something similar to that. If you paid attention to the average positioning of the players, and it worked to a T. With the art pressing on the day was impressive. It was strategic. It was with papers. Players weren't just running around for the sake of it. Players were pressing strategically, and that worked. That we on multiple occasions, I think up to 3 times at least, won the ball back in the final third and could have scored from those opportunities, but went clinical on the day. But Dante, let me start with you. If you're back, is he back? I think he's struggling with his connection. But before, let me wait to see if Dante gets his connection fixed. This here reads Gabriel Marcotti. Gabriel Marcotti. Cole Palmer is no longer carrying Chelsea, and that's a good thing. Yep. That's
Gab
why again.
Marcotti, Gab Marcotti.
McCarthy. Okay. Cole Palmer is no longer carrying Chelsea, and that's a good thing. I agree with that 10,000%. It's not that he was a subpar. In fact, he offered up his usual threat on the ball and delivered a gorgeous goal to seal the 3-0 winner over Aston Villa. It's just that the supporting cast are now clicking nicely. I don't think I've seen any comment as delicious as this one with regards to why some people, you could say, are buying into the narrative that Cole Palmer that he'd been underperforming. No, we have more of a team than we had when he newly joined us. We had a crappy team before he joined us, but he stood out. He decided not to be part of the crap. He stood out. He was carrying the team, but right now, at the moment, he's not carrying the team. We have more of a unit than we had the last term, which it was just all about him. But now, whether he performs to the highest level or not, we still get results. I don't know, Bobby. As I've said, I don't think I've seen any comment as delicious as this one with regards to Cole Palmer, how he's performing right now. But let's get your thoughts on that, and then Dantes, then we get into the match
Yeah,
review exercise proper.
yeah. I mean, from the goals, you can see the goals are being distributed more, in
Hmm.
a better way. I do think he has had a slight dip in form, but that happens. That happens even to the greatest players. You're not going to be on top form all the time. But the distribution in the team is better. The contribution of the team is more evened out. So there's less shining to be had. But still, every now and then, the cream always rises to the top. He will always come up with a moment of brilliance, like Messi and Ronaldo do. Either he'll thread a through ball that will lead to a goal, or he will score a top bins like he did on Saturday. That's where you see a quality player. No doubt about it. Cole Palmer is an excellent player. I was just wanting him to be substituted because I saw his form wasn't quite what it was. And Felix could do with a little bit more faith shown in him. That was why I wanted him changed in the 81st minute, which is practically close to the game being over. And boy, he is a class act. There's no doubt about it. He
Yeah,
always does something special, which is what special players do.
yeah. I mean, he set the standard so high for himself that usually even when people usually expect too much of him, that even when he does well, if he doesn't do extraordinarily well, or you could say they don't accept that he did well. That same game, he made an assist too. Yeah. So
Yeah, he did. He
yeah,
did. Now, I
that's
didn't
the sort
want
of
him.
player he is.
Yeah, it is. I didn't want him to be given man of the match, mainly because I don't want too much focus on him. Let him have a game or two where he's not made to be the man. And that was a game that actually, did he deserve it? He stole the limelight at the end, but I thought the midfielders and Cucurella really were the ones that we should have been looking at there. But it is what it is. They gave it to him, but I like to dumb it down a little bit because I know what they're like. They'll build him up, build him up, build him up, and then after a while they start, maybe he has a little issue or falls out with his girlfriend and or goes out one night and maybe has a drink or two, and
Mhm.
this same media will be out for his throat.
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty of the goal he scored probably is a huge part of why he won the man of the match. I'm going to catch up with a bit of what we have in the channel and come back to Dante to get his thoughts on this delicious comment from Gabriel Makoti. Let's see what else we have here. I agree with Dante. Yeah, what's happening? Why is everybody agreeing with everybody else except me? Anything else here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes to go along with Ty is here. Big up to you, Ty. You're on the panel already. I appreciate you finding the time to join us. What do we have here? NATO was a lot higher up in average formation than Sancho. Yep. Mokambi must be Mokambi. Okay, must be how you say it. Mokambi in Yoruba, I guess. Mokambi. Because if this is in Yoruba, it should be more something like Mokambi. More can be. But thank you for that. The blue Tifa game. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Dante, your thoughts. For me, this is a delicious comment. It explains beyond the surface level why, yeah, Cole Palmer is coming across to some people as if he's underperforming. In that same game, even before he got the assist and the goal, he still did a lot of things right. But because, yeah, he set the standard with which we judge him. I remember we did have a conversation at the start of the season that we argued that chances are he's not going to get up to how many goals he got last season, but he will get a lot more assists. But Dante, let's hear you. What do you make of this? The delicious comment on the screen right here.
Yeah, coach, definitely. Yeah, 100% exactly what he's saying there. Palmer's not really carrying us anymore as much.
And it's a good thing. Let's emphasize
it's
that.
a great thing, not a good
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Yeah,
a
it's a
good
great
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Because we saw last season it was Palmer or nothing. So, but in the last five sort of games, probably he hasn't been at his best. 4 games probably since he got that knock on his knee, he hasn't been at his best. And yeah, we haven't really relied on him, to be honest, that much. So he hasn't been that effective in games at all, except on the weekend now. Obviously,
Can we just say
assist.
he hasn't been? You could say he has not been measuring the standards he's set for himself. I think we're judging him by that, which in turn leads to us believing. You could say, or seeing it as if he's been underperforming, but I don't think that's been the case.
Probably, yeah, I think he's.
Yeah, but go ahead. What
I
you were
think
saying.
he's carrying a knock, and I think he's being too proud to probably say that that's affecting him, as most of those players do. They tend to do that. I've seen his leg and knee sort of buckle when he's turning sometimes, and that shows me that it's a bit weak. So he's probably feeling it. It's just internal, probably bruising a little bit, and it's probably sore. But he's playing through it. He's not going to say anything about it. And when Bobby was saying earlier, yeah, to substitute him off, yeah, I agreed. I wanted him substitute off in the last couple of games to be substituted off much earlier because he just wasn't being effective. And I can see something's not quite right. And but yeah, either way, he stayed on. He scored the goal. It still made a difference, which is good. He's still got that quality. But yeah, he's definitely carrying an injury, in my opinion. I can tell the way he's not doing his usual turns. And when he is trying to do it, he's kind of buckling a little bit underneath. So I think it's definitely a problem. And hopefully for the game against Southampton, we're going to have that midweek game. Hopefully he does not start that because I don't want him 90 minutes, 90
yeah,
minutes,
I would rather
90
him
minutes.
not play on that day, rest him for the game after.
Well, because we've got João Felix, we've got Nkunku, we've got players, quality players that can fill that role, and we need him 100%. You can't play back-to-back midweek games, 90 minutes. We're asking for trouble there, and he's going to get injured. So I don't want to see that. I definitely want to see him get rested midweek and leave him for the next weekend again. So yeah, that's what I think on that. And just quickly to add, I saw in the chat there who was saying that. Oh, Chimera was saying that. I used to start fighting for Gallagher and Mudryk to start. No, I've never started in my life fighting for Gallagher to start a game, so I don't know where he got that one from.
I think he knows exactly what he's doing. It's just like telling Bobby that Keenan Driscoll is the best midfielder we have at the club.
Right back,
yeah, something like that. Yeah, go take care of him, please. Kishan, my bro, my New York bro, nice to see you. Kishan, don't go about blocking people here. You heard that. And the blue tiff again. In my opinion, Palmer has probably been more consistent than not. I think I agree. But once again, he set the standard with which we judge him. And when we signed him, we were absolute horse dung at the time. But because of how good he is, he still stood out. Even in our darkest moment, he was still one of our best players at the time. But right now, we have more of a unit than we had at the time. The goal is being spread around, like Bobby said, and that's the sign of a good team. You don't want it to be a case of one player carrying the team, and once they're out of the game, that's it. You're done. But let me read through what this guy that I don't like is saying. The difference is the rest of the team have stepped up. That's a serious tap in. You read what we had on the screen there. That's a tapping from you. And I just realized that the difference is the rest of the team have stepped up, which gives the opposition less time to concentrate on him. Just go away. And that it doesn't like. We know we don't even need to get into. Nobody they don't need to tell us that. I'm going to block. Don't do that, bro. You know you're the block man, right? Palmer will definitely start against Southampton. In my opinion, without Palmer against Southampton, we are cooked. I don't believe that, really. João Felix has proven that he can actually do the sort of job that Palmer does for us. We're blessed, really. Tapping match, and yeah, just read it. And in the
We're going
middle
to
of it, I
need
realized it
Palmer.
was a tapping. Go ahead, Bobby.
We're going to need Palmer to start more against Tottenham. I
Yeah.
think it would be
So
foolish
you'd
to
rather
start
him
him
get
against
being
Southampton.
rested, right?
Yeah, at least on the bench. I mean, it'd be foolish to start him against Southampton. With the squad depth we have, and with João Felix, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to go there and get something. If we don't, then Felix can't complain about being left on the bench.
Mm. Mhm. I agree with you. Mabasa, I'll come back to that particular comment in a bit. He says, I don't know why everybody agrees with Dante and Bobby because they are OGs. You can win a battle with them. Yeah, not everybody agrees with me, but we have a tie in the house. The CEO of Chelsea FC Session, excellent job. He's been doing there of late. He's always been done great job, but he's doing a lot more right now. Working with Ade, I think, correct me if I got this name wrong. New delicious intro. But Ty, that's by the way your thoughts on this delicious comment on the screen. And if you want to talk about the title race, if you want to weigh into the title race debate, you go ahead. The floor is yours, Ty.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, crystal clear.
Okay. Um, right. Big up to everyone.
Big up to you.
Yeah. For I mean, I've been reading it over and over again to see if I can agree with it, and the more that I think about it, the more it actually makes sense. The fact of the matter is that we have other attackers who are stepping up. Therefore, meaning not to tap in as the beautiful game did, but essentially when you have other attackers stepping up, it alleviates that pressure away from you, and it allows you to to not have to be doing everything, because we saw Cole Palmer having to do tricks here, try to get past plays and all of that. And at the beginning of the season, he was very crucial in terms of doing those stuff. But when you have players like Neto, who's actually creating opportunities, you have Sancho who's also trying to do things, and then you obviously have Enzo who's having a good game. You don't need to be doing all the excessive work. So, like the comment says, I think I agree with it. I've been highly critical of Palmer, but looking back at games, looking back at what the team is also doing, and as you said, we were horse dung. So so comparing last season to this season, you realize that you have more players to alleviate that pressure, and it allows Palmer to just do what he should be doing and not having to overdo it. And I think Dante mentioned this as well. It is still a possibility that he's not at 100% because of the hits that he's gotten. There's no certainty as to if that's the case. But I mean, at the same time, we have other players that limit the amount of time that he has to do to do the work. So at the end of the day, I would like to subscribe to the theory that is actually just a case where we have other players who are reliable. And for the title race situation, I'm trying very much to not give in to my optimism and my belief. I'm gonna be honest. I'm having that gut feeling that Chelsea shouldn't be ruled out. I don't know why, because I don't think we're there yet. But at the same time, I'm thinking about the fact that you have teams like Liverpool who will obviously have challenges. They're in the Champions League, which is highly more competitive and more intense than what we're in. So it is something that I'm trying not to give into, because at the same time we don't know the capabilities of this team in the Premier League. We say that we have a B team, but the B team hasn't played in the Premier League and it's in the Conference League. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm having that weird feeling that, you know what, things could go in that direction. You never know. The season is still early, and and if we're able to get results and win matches that we can win, then 100% we can be up there. But I'm gonna go and say we're not in the title race, so that there's no additional pressure or there's no false hope. But it is possible if we're able to do the minimal of things. But I'm not gonna give into that theory.
How about Ty? I understand your point. You see how I asked Bobby, and he's very knowledgeable, so he was able to break it down to our viewers the reason why he believes we're not in the title race, because you cannot look at where we are in the table and the disparity in points between us and the Liverpool, who are currently topping the table, and say we're not in the title race. And had we scored one more goal the other day with the second, right? Correct me, second or third, I think would be we could say higher in the table. One
Yeah,
more, we can yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So
yeah.
beyond mathematically, do you agree we're in the title race? So if you're saying we're not in the title race, I'd like you to elaborate, explain properly, make it clearer to our viewers. Why are we not in the title race? If you ask me to do the same, I'd do it effectively and let you know. I don't want to say it. Maybe that's what you have in mind. I don't want to want it to come across as
Mm,
if you're doing a tapping. But I know
mm,
you're one of the tapping merchants here. Or
yeah.
yeah, Ty, let's hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Remember that I'm a defender, so defenders usually do tappings more than shooting. But yeah. Well, I've been saying the same thing. And even on a show on my channel, that was the main point, the center of the conversation as to if Chelsea are title contenders or pretenders, because if it's a case where we're at the same points as Arsenal, and people say that Arsenal are in the title race, which fair enough, they've challenged for the past 2 seasons, making it 3 years now. So if we're on the exact same points, and not just the same points, we're on the same goal difference, goal scored as well, goal finished, everything is completely the same. So as I said, I'm having that feeling that Chelsea not only could challenge, but could also win it if they do the what needs to be done. And I gave the reasons as to why I'm trying not to give into, because I'm looking into it to say that um we know that Liverpool are going to play in a more competitive competition in Europe, in the Champions League. I'm still yet to see the level of depth that they have in other areas of the pitch. I personally think that the attack is mostly Salah FC this season. Yes, the other attackers have scored goals, but it's been due to Salah's creativity and him getting into to the creative side that he has. Because looking at the stats of his assists, he has the second or the first highest assist in the Premier League. So if he goes out for not if when he goes out for Afcon, can they replicate that exact same creativity or that output? So I as I said, I don't want to give into that optimism that I have, but I am having that weird feeling that cannot write off Chelsea. It's we've done it before in seasons where it wasn't expected, but I'm trying not to sound delusional. I am a Chelsea fan, and I'd love to see us back up there. I would hate for it to be a case where it gets to a decade since we've won the Premier League, and it's close to that. It's If we don't win it this season, it'll be 8 years. So if we can prevent that from happening, then I'll be happy. The depth in our squad is something that we still need to see get tested, because as I said before, we haven't seen that in the Premier League. It's been in the Conference League, and when we try to rotate even in the FA Cup, although people might say that, well, not the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, we got eliminated by Newcastle. People say that the application was different, but in a match like that, and the high intensity, and the team isn't able to do that in comparison to the Conference League, if we have certain injuries to certain players, will we go back to square one? So that is why I'm saying definitely we mathematically we are in the title race. You cannot dispute that. You cannot don't play that, because we're on the exact same points as Arsenal. And as you said, if we had scored one more goal yesterday, we would have definitely be second. We are joined second because we're on the same point. So you can't say we're third if we have the same point. We have the
They're
second amount of
toppling us
points.
alphabetically.
Yeah, well, and I'm trying to understand if it's that exactly, or if it's a case where, because
No,
I'm
it's
hearing
not
people say that
exactly.
that's it, because people are saying that it was some away goal, and I'm saying, when does the Premier League have
No.
away goal rules? But yeah, I mean that's the only reason why I'm saying it. I'm not saying when we're in a tight race, because I'm trying not to give myself false hope lest we don't actually challenge and we falter, which I hope we don't. But
Yeah.
that's for the
Yeah.
sake of it.
That's an excellent response, Ty. Thank you, and I appreciate that. Namai here is saying Maresca shouldn't rotate much against Southampton like against Newcastle United. I don't think he'd been making a lot of changes uh, to ensure players rest properly for Premier League games. If we make 10 changes, 11 changes like we do for mid European games, I think we'll be in serious. We'll find out. We'll learn the hard way. That's F around and find out in so many ways. I don't think he'd be doing that. He'd be rotating players, but not to the extent of making a 5, 6, 7 changes. I don't think so. For Premier League games, it'd be a huge risk to do that. Coach, why do the Premier League persist in having a Chelsea versus a Tottenham fixtures? Why don't they just award us the 6 points? At the start of the season, they've beaten us once like 600 years. Wow. Some comment right there. And I think Angie, I'm just happy he's a very stubborn manager. He doesn't know how to approach the game differently. It's the same way, irrespective of who they're playing against. And I think, yeah, I hope he does the same against us when we play them. But that's, by the way, what else do we have here? Spurs haven't beaten us since last year at their own ground. The last time Spurs beat us at Stamford Bridge, it was during the 2017-2018 season when our ex-Poch was Spurs manager at the time. 3 points lane. I think that's what we should be calling it. One game at a time. Yeah, I agree. Even the manager would tell you the same thing. Jorgensen might start and Wells see him training with the players. I think that's just the manager helping him to improve in areas that, yeah, he needs to improve. Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. And Ty, yeah, don't accuse Ty of anything. We are in the title race, but being in the title race doesn't mean you are going to actually win the race. Yeah, that is a good one. That's a delicious comment I have to say. I nearly didn't say it because I didn't like you, but I appreciate such you can say sensible comments. It makes sense. That's everything we've talked about, summarized, simplified, easier to understand by the average fan. And I like that. Liverpool FC is becoming more Salah FC. You could argue if Salah and Virgil van Dijk get injured, then it's a game over for Liverpool. AFCON is not until next season, December period, they say, December of 2025, and I didn't even know. It's been nearly 7 years since Chelsea last won the league. The last time Chelsea won the league, it was okay. And I can't able to figure out your age right now. Okay, I agree with Ty's point. Let's see what else we have here. Phil is in the house in Spain. It is said that Real Madrid will buy Enzo Fernandez, 23 years old, the best in his position. and a world champion to replace Luka Modric, who is 39 years old and is already retiring. Good luck to them. I don't think we're selling Enzo Fernandez. I've been telling people that, but unfortunately, a lot of people they know you as a footballer. You have to perform consistently, otherwise, one single you can say bad performance, that's it. You're a bad player. And in this case, actually, a lot of people still believed in him until they start seeing, you can say, the nonsense statistics comparing how many games we won in his absence and the ones we won when he was on the pitch or for us, blah blah blah. And I was telling people at the time that was just absolute nonsense. How can you single him out at a time when the team was horse dunk completely? It doesn't make any sort of sense to single him out. And people comparing when he got injured or when he went under the knife, saying, "Yeah, they see how well we're doing with Gallagher playing alone or playing in this position." And I told them, okay, how about taking your time to think about since the arrival of Enzo Maresca, how many games we've played under Enzo Maresca, how many we've won, and how many he started. And I was telling people at the time, look, he's been one of our best players under Enzo Maresca. One thing I know is that he's not going to get you 20 goals per season or 20 assists per season. And everything comes down to where you play him actually and how you utilize him. But whenever he's on the pitch, we can control games better. But right now, actually, he's doing a lot more than just help us dictate the pace of the game. The managers find a way, you can say, to get him to be at his best in each game he plays. So, but people at the time didn't care. They were just saying, "Yeah, look how many games we've won without him on the pitch for us," and absolute nonsense. But that's by the way, I don't think Chelsea are looking to sell him. Chelsea are not going to sell him. Chelsea understands the sort of player he is, and I'm going to say something I've already said before. It doesn't make any sort of sense to sell the player that brings us good balance in our squad to Real Madrid, and some suggesting that we exchange him for Chomeni, then bring in Chomeni and have two more traditional leaning sixes. Then we lose the balance that Enzo Fernandez brings to the team. So if it makes sense to you, just be happy we have them. They complement each other, and he's different. They're all different. Romeo Lavia better at beating the press than Casado and Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez better vision from an offensive perspective. Yeah, Moises Caicedo has good vision too, but I don't think his vision can measure that of Enzo Fernandez. And he reads the game from a defensive perspective better than the other two. But that's just my opinion anyway. I'm guessing we're all a lot of people that were suggesting because we played Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo to achieve defensive solidity, that's it. Enzo Fernandez is gone. He's going to be sold. And you see content creators titling their content, it's time to talk about Enzo Fernandez. Uncomfortable conversation about Enzo Fernandez. All absolute house dung. Right now, some of them, they're titling their content right now with something like Enzo is what class, Enzo has arrived, Enzo masterclass, blah 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 blah. But that's by the way. I'm just gonna move on from that topic because it really does irritate to talk about it. But let's see. Yeah, I don't think we're selling him. We're not looking to sell him. The manager, even when he opted for the two more traditional sixes, he did explain that it was for the papers. But it only those that understand football knew at the time that he was he realized we were scoring goals, but we were conceding a lot too. But I think he's a smart manager, and look, we're conceding less and less. And he's found a way to use the three of them at the same time, even without changing the structure in a manner that I thought he'd do before we see the three of them on the pitch together. I did not. I'm not going to read your complaints there. Kachila Tariq George and David Washington to Coventry City FC on loan. I don't know really. I haven't heard anything. And some people are suggesting that it was somebody that intervened with regards to how to their perception of how Chelsea has been treating Tariq George. So I don't want to get into that because I don't have enough information and I don't want to gaslight you. I hope the Sassy now uses right back. Okay, we'll see what happens there. Anything else? Yeah, these owners won't stop some players from leaving, but I don't think Enzo is on that list. Nope, they like him. He joined us. He wasn't actually up to a year. And again, uh, when he nearly joined us, we triggered an extension on his contract. Was it an extension or something? I think we increased his pay or something like that, but I can't quite remember. He's not going anywhere. I pray we sell the CC. I think he will eventually be
Coach,
sold. Yeah, go ahead,
coach,
Bobby.
it
Yeah.
it wasn't an extension or something. It was a effing extension. The
Okay. I
guy's
don't.
on a
I'm just
nine and
just
a
being
half
cautious with my
year.
comment. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The guy's on a 9.5 year contract.
Hmm.
Nobody can come anywhere near him unless Chelsea want him to go. If you try it, they will deal with you in the courts. You can't approach him.
Yep.
The word is called tapping up. So all these people dreaming and hoping, and it ain't happening. If Chelsea want to
And
keep
we're
this
not looking to
guy,
sell him.
what are you saying? 9.5 year contract. He's barely gone a year into it. He's untouchable at the moment, unless Chelsea want to sell him, and they're not looking to sell him. He's very much part of the project. Project is the name of the word. Chelsea are not in the business of just palming off their best players. We're looking to create something. And to create something, you need your players, you need your rotation, you need to build. Why is it that Real Madrid are looking to have rotation? And what? We're just going to give up our rotation to give them rotation? It's ridiculous. Absolute
Indeed.
nonsense.
Yeah, ridiculous indeed. Kenyan Revolutionary says, I'm okay with Enzo. And let's go and get Musiala. It's not going to be easy. And I don't think he signed a new contract. So, and he still likes Chelsea, speaks highly of the club during interviews. Um, um, they were together in the academy. I think he said the first, I remember seeing something to the effect of Levi Cole being one of the first players he became friends with at the time. Yeah, he still likes Chelsea. So if the opportunity, if we see the opportunity to sign him, I think we'll move, we'll try, let alone not succeed. That's how I see it. And the blue to forget me saying Coachella. Not gonna lie, if
I,
Enzo
I,
plays, go ahead, Bobby.
I don't think we're looking there. If Estevao William is everything it says on the tin, we don't need Musiala. We've also got Kendry Pius coming as well. It's not going to be
What's
where we're
that?
looking. It's definitely not going to be where we're looking.
All
If
right.
those guys are as good
Mhm.
as they say they are, what's the need for Musiala? None.
Yeah. Coach, not gonna lie, if Enzo plays regularly in that position, in that formation, then I might think twice about selling him to Real Madrid. I don't think it happens. This guy. He's not been bad. I think it's lack of understanding with regards to what he brings to the table was the reason why a lot of people, you can say, were buying a lot of people bought into the narrative that we don't need them, it's not good enough for the Premier League. And I remember debating that, I think it was with Carlito and Roger. I'm telling them, look, this guy is quicker than you give him credit for and can be physical if he wants, but usually he he opts to draw a foul rather than battle it out with whoever that he's battling on the pitch. He can be physical if he wants to. If he decides you're not going to get this ball, take this ball away from me, you will not. And pay attention to him from now on to see firsthand that my argument with regards to a lot of people, you can say he had, for me, you can argue that he's one of the most misunderstood players at Chelsea right now, down to lack of understanding of what he brings to the table. But yeah, I get your point there. He says, I would think twice before selling him to Real Madrid. My guy dumped his wife and kids and improved his stats. Go figure. Yeah, here's the thing: happy wife, happy life. They say. Sometimes I mean, you go into relationships to get a partner that will support you in everything you do and not be a drag in whatever you do in life. So maybe that was his case. I don't want to get into that conversation anyway. I'm not Mr. Phil marriage
Question,
counselor.
coach.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know about you, but I think I deserve credit for saying that we should expect the three midfielders playing very soon. I kept asking people, and they kept saying that no, it's either gonna be either Enzo and Casado, or Enzo and Lavia. It will never be the three of them. It is possible, and
Damn, Ty.
Merska proved it.
I love your microphone, man. The bars, everything, the perfect balance. The sound is just crisp. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think that that's the case. I don't understand why people think it was impossible. It's just a case where Maresca found a way to not have to sacrifice an addition well an additional attacker. It just meant that we were less by a defender. We lessened the starting 11 without a defender, but it is possible. So I guess it's something that could happen even more, but I do think that it depends on the game, and I think Maresca thought that this was the perfect match to do it, but it's
I think it
possible.
will happen a lot more. Why? Because even at that, we were still able. There was still space for Nato and Sancho and Palmer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it will happen again. And kudos, credit to you. Yeah, we did. I think we had that conversation, and you were the one that you did talk. You did discuss in detail how possible that is, and you're correct. Yeah, Musiala and Santos don't play together. That the same position. That's very correct. Lampard loves buying players on loan from Chelsea. He did that while at Derby County. Yeah, I hope he comes. He'll take some of our players and help them develop, and the club will listen to him if he comes calling. The question is, it's down to the players he wants, and the players were willing to let leave on loan. The striker I would sign is a Iran international Mahidi Taremi from Inter Milan. He would provide competition to Jackson, like what we had with Giroud. Okay. Thank you. The Sassy Chewa Kani will all leave in January. I think we you can say that's that. Musiala, please, will it happen? I don't know. It's up to the manager. Kuchila, do you think Chelsea will sign a striker if they qualify for? I'd say we're already looking to sign one more striker. Gyökeres, rumors are that we're leading the race to sign him, according to Fichajes, and then Record Portugal also. Whether I don't know whether to believe that or not. Not up to me. We just pay attention to what's going on. What is the need of Musiala? Uh, just leave me alone. What else do we have here? Katila, have you seen the news of Chelsea wanting to sign Randall Colomwani and swap there with Nkunku? I did see that last week. Do I believe that's the case? I'd say no. The manager, he said openly that we're not looking to sell Christopher Nkunku, that he likes him. He will get his chance. We only need a special players at Chelsea. We already have the numbers. Yep. Yeah, and I think it was a week ago, some reports suggested the club's strategy have now changed. It will be targeted a transfer. You can say a player purchases, no longer buying for the sake of it, but they'll still be buying young, emerging talents. But for the first team, they'll be targeting more established players. Yep. Let's see anything else here. Anything else? I'm not gonna read everything you have there. A coach still try to tap in. Shameless. Shame on you. Jabalani Zamalo is saying the trio of Casado, Lavia, and Enzo is superb up front. We still need a Gyökeres urgently to further sharpen our goal scoring fit. Okay, let's see. Pies or the other Brazilian kid, one of them will go on loan. I don't think Estevão Willian goes out on loan. Pies might not actually go out on loan. Musiala would redeem the club's reputation of getting rid of our academy players. Musiala is better than any of our current players. Musiala isn't better than Copa. Let's start from there. Lampard, okay, all right. A lot of back and forth of topics right now. So let's talk about the game proper, Bobby. if you want to talk about our pressing on the day was strategic. It was on purpose. We weren't just running around for the sake of it, and it was good to watch. And it did yield results. It's just that we weren't clinical on the day, because I think we had three opportunities from winning the ball back in the final third. Nicolas Jackson one, Kopama two. Am I missing one? I can't quite remember the third one, but let's just stick with two. Two of them led to clear-cut goal scoring chances, but within you can say maximize those opportunities. But more importantly, I was impressed with the pressing. Bobby, let's hear you.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if we can just perfect our finishing, there are many teams that are going to be in for a very, very good hiding at Chelsea. We're going to be caning a lot of teams. We missed so much, really, and we scored 3 and didn't concede any. I think the tactics were spot on. It was our day that day. They could not reply to anything. They tried to press. We were hitting them on the counter. They dropped back. We were opening them up and finding our way through. They tried to bully us in midfield. Our midfielders stood up to it and won the ball. All round, we were better than them, and even their manager knew it and said it. Whatever the excuses, Champions League, whatever, call it what you like, but this is football. This is Premier League football. We've lived through it. We've done this. Teams like City have lived through it and done this. So I have no empathy on them at all. It's the name of the game, it's the nature of the beast. And even if they didn't have Champions League football, I don't think they could have lived with us on that day. They themselves knew it. They knew how much they struggled to beat a very weakened, disorientated Chelsea last season, and they came out and said it. I think yes, the game, we have to take the flowers for that one. As much as we attack the team when they don't get it right, this time they got it right. Every single player was well and above average performance. Everyone, even the goalkeeper.
Yeah. And like you said, some commentators they tried to downplay how well we played on the day. And we're not, one thing we do here that I like, Bobby, you don't hear us saying that I think we don't make us when we beat teams, we say we beat them, but we beat teams because we can say they were going through a bad patch of maybe struggling with the players they have out injured. We usually say yes, yeah, we were lucky, but on no, it wasn't even close. We
No,
did beat them. We beat them convincingly, and nobody should try and downplay how well we played on the day. It was obvious that we were the
well, they
much better side, irrespective of their, you can say, their European assignments, and then the league and the travel, if they did in fact travel on the last game.
no,
I
they
can't quite
played
remember,
they
but go
played
ahead with
at
what you were
home.
saying.
They played at home in
The
Europe. Look,
Juventus, right? It was against
look,
Juventus.
even if they didn't have that game, we just had the tactics spot on.
Hmm.
You just have to give credit where credit's due. They never make excuses for us if we lose. Last season's a perfect example. All the injuries and everything we were carrying, they were mocking us when we had problems. So I have no empathy. I don't care. We were more than worthy winners on the day, and I think we have to accept all credit for our performance on the day.
Yeah, and these are honestly Lukeba and Hein. These are players I haven't paid attention to very well. Honestly, I can speak objectively about them, and I don't like going by what I see with video clips. The beautiful game, Emery had the same look on his face that he had in Baku when Hazard dumped on his and Giroud scored on that day, right? I remember that. That was Hazard's last game for Chelsea, wasn't it? Okay. Let's see. Kenyan Revolutionary is saying that. Let's see. Musiala is miles better than Cole Palmer. Struggles against the big boys because they stifle him by mind marking him. Musiala is Iniesta-esque. I cannot take the ball. You cannot take the ball away from him. Watch him closely. I'm not saying Musiala is a bad player. Even without looking at numbers, I don't agree that he's better than Cole Palmer, let alone miles better than Cole Palmer. But you're entitled to your opinion anyway. Maybe if once we round up, if we still have time, we'd compare their numbers to see, yeah, exactly who's actually performed better from last season to end this season. So don't worry about it. Right now I'm going to say you win. If at the end of the show we still have time, we can bring up Data MB and compare their numbers. I don't want to run down Colin Moani. I don't want him either. At Chelsea, he's just the lanky version of Lukaku. I think he's a more complete player than Romelu Lukaku. Let's be honest there. But coach, would you take Marcus Thuram at Chelsea? Thuram was, I think, was it 2 seasons ago? He was close to joining us, and then he changed his mind because at the time Barcelona and some other clubs were interested. And then he did say something to the effect of he would decide his future at the end of the season. He was still in Germany at the time, correct me if I'm wrong. But we thought that, he was definitely joining Chelsea. I remember making a few YouTube short videos about that possible transfer at the time. It didn't happen. So I don't, listen, that's just me. I don't like us going after players that had the opportunity to join us and didn't join us, and then are open to join us because maybe they're struggling where they are. But he's not struggling right now. Except if I missed anything, he's doing well. But I wouldn't want us to waste our time trying to go after him. Hazard's last game against Arsenal. How can you not remember? Shame on you. Yeah, I'm just asking. You don't say shame on me. I think I was the one that mentioned. I think that was his last game for us. Yeah, was it? Was it? Am I mixing things up here? In Baku, who played it? Hazard's last game for us was under Mauricio Sarri. What am I? I'm
It
mixing
was
things up.
Baku, the UEFA Cup final.
Yeah, I know. But who was our manager at the time?
It was sorry.
He was still Sarri. So that was Hazard's last game. So don't confuse me, man. Uh, And the Kenya revolutionary says Lukaku is a construction worker. Bobby, thank you for coming to my rescue. So Ty, our pressing against Aston Villa, it was impressive. He was targeted. It was with papers. Players weren't just running around like we did under our ex. It was a joy to watch. And the fact that we nearly got goals from the way we pressed them is even more impressive. So the manager, that highlights the fact that the manager knows what he's doing. Yeah, but let's say you're tired if you want to add to that. All right, Ty might not be at his desk, so we have to move on.
No. I'm here. Remember the problem? I keep forgetting to click the button.
It okay takes you like 10 years to unmute.
Yes.
All right,
man.
go ahead, Ty. The pressing. How impressive was it?
Well, as I said, it all goes back to the fact that of the application and the players that were able to be utilized. The only downside is that we didn't score more goals because we could have. Aston Villa, they surprised me because this is the first time I actually saw Unai Emery's team having to be sitting so deep and compact since he's been there, because they're a team that comes at you and they try to attack you, and they did that eventually. But it was impressive. I would say it's a Maresca masterclass, because the way that we were able to pin them back and they had to be so conservative in their approach. It's really a testament to the fact that Maresca has been able to get his ideas across the players, and no matter who you play, it's like it's not the first time they're playing together. That's the level of chemistry that is being developed quickly. So it was massively impressive. And the only downside is that we didn't add goals, and obviously comfortably say that we are second, because we are joint second. It's just we're third on the table due to the name of the club, which is, to me, is unfortunate. But at the same time, build on that. As I said before, if we continue to get the results, we have a packed December. I don't know. It's always the Christmas period that's always filled with a lot of packing, but hopefully we're able to get the
This is tight.
results. And if we want to say that we're in the title race, we have to get wins and not drop points, which is unlikely because we're going to perhaps draw a game, but if we don't lose matches, we're perfectly fine. That's what you have to do. You have to win at least 9 or 10 of those games, and if you can get a draw, let it be once. We've not lost a game for a while now. 6 games and so and it's and that's good. 2 losses in the so only well, in the Premier League, 2 losses only is impressive, but at the same time, it really is a testament to the work Maresca is doing and he's continuing to do. And he was the perfect manager to get. Obviously, it's still early for people to say that, but I'm happy that for the fans that were saying, "Oh, he's gonna be gone by December." It's December already, and he's still here. So
Some some
I
say
think,
some said November, some said September.
yeah, and he's here. It's December, and I don't see any reason why he won't see out the entire season and even beyond that, because what he's doing is not something that if we start losing matches, which I doubt will happen at that great level, it's gonna be due to some other factor, because the way that we play, everything is calculated, everything is concise, and that is something that we've been lacking for years. And I mean, he surprised a lot of individuals, myself included, in terms of the fact that we expected to be playing slow football all the time, sorry ball 2.0, but it's completely different. We can get into the final third rapidly, and perhaps that was the case with Sorry at times, but the build up is more calculated, and we don't make um, risk without it being calculated. So that's fantastic from him, and long may it continue.
Yeah, 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 Ty. Thank you for raising. You can say deciding. I think we need to give the manager his flowers. He's proven a lot of people wrong. A lot of people apologizing publicly, just like they're apologizing to. You could say presenting apologies for Marco Correa. But let's talk about Maresca. He's not bent on approaching games in a particular way. The basics are still there. The basics, from my observation, line breaking passes even from the defensive line. We don't just pass the ball around for the sake of it. The aim is almost always to displace 1, 2, 3, 4 opposition players, especially when there are spaces. In the slightest of spaces, you see even Nicolas Jackson, Arten, or Cole Palmer drifting inwards, creating an extra passing lane that if the ball gets to him, it simply means we've deleted 2, 3, 4, 5 opposition players. He's impressed me, and we're not predictable just as we were on the Mauricio Pochettino. And that unpredictability, I can't believe I said this word seamlessly without biting my tongue. I think makes us a much better side than we were on the Graham Potter and Mauricio Pochettino. We got our man, and he's an excellent manager. He speaks intelligently. He's an excellent communicator. Tactically, he's very well equipped. And that the way we played it against Aston Villa is testament to the fact that we don't just go into games and deciding, okay, our approach is just to pass the ball around, find you can say find a space and quickly you can say transition to the opposition's box. For every opposition, that's a particular. He changes the way we approach game. At least, most especially in the final third. To sometimes bait them, to sometimes exploit spaces that he knows certainly will exist against certain opposition. He's a brilliant mind. He's an excellent manager, and I'm happy he's our manager. And he's going to be here for a while, except if he decides to leave. Bobby, let's hear you. Ty brought that up. But Enzo Maresca, what a tactician. Some people are calling him genius because, yeah, Aston Villa, they weren't able to play their football. And the manager, he said after during his post game presser, that yeah, Chelsea this season are different, not the same Chelsea last season. But let's hear you, Bobby.
Sorry, coach. What was the question? I
Enzo
was.
Maresca, what a
Mm.
manager he is. The
Oh yeah.
tactics, we should give him,
Yeah.
you can say 90% of the credit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I mentioned the
Yeah.
importance of talking about
Yeah.
what a tactical mastermind he is.
You see, the thing with Enzo Maresca, I have come to see, and this is my analogy. Forget all the nonsense that was said about him before he came to Chelsea.
Hmm.
Even the Leicester City fans say no, he only plays one way. No, Enzo Maresca has a core tactic which is teaching the team. First of all, this is our structure. This is our backbone. Possession. We use possession to defend. We use possession to frustrate. We use possession to build and kill a team with anticipation when they're low blocking us. That is his default position. But Enzo Maresca is quite happy and willing to play in so many other ways. And he's evolving his team that way. First of all, get the basics. And then when I start my permutations to change my tactics against different teams, I play my three top midfielders together. I play Caicedo, I play Lavia, Nkunku and Jackson up top. I play Felix and Palmer together, and any rotational system within that system. I play Gusto sometimes as a number 10. I play Caicedo as the inverting right back. He does all sorts of things. I play the sweeper. I play the flat back four. I play inverting on the left. I play inverting on the right. This is what Maresca wants to do. I am so for it. I am so for it. I have yearned for this with a Chelsea manager. Not even Mourinho really gave us this. Mourinho was very pragmatic. We knew what he was doing. 2 years on the third year, he was usually found out and people started sussing him out. Then he'll kick off some problem and leave. That's Mourinho. Um, the closest to it was Sari, but Sari was too robotic in his way. To be fair to him, he only had one season. So all we saw was Sari ball in its infancy. Nobody else. Ancelotti is about the player power. He just gives them license because to this day, don't think he's that tactically astute. I thought when he was at Chelsea, the real tactician was Ray Wilkins. He came and
I agree.
he just gave players license. Like even at Real Madrid now, the number two is the person that really comes up with the tactics. He's a Galacticos whisperer and a very very lucky manager. He's one of those people in life that the coins fall the right way for him in the right place at the right time, and he walks into the glory that comes with it. That's how I look at Ancelotti. All these people that are waxing lyrical about him, I'm like, well, when you gave Angelotti a mediocre team like Everton, he nearly ran them into relegation. So, this we've not had this, and I've always yearned for it. A mastermind, a proper footballing mastermind, total football. And I'm not talking in the Dutch way, I'm talking in the full sense. Maresca plays every way. He'll play the passing game. Sometimes he'll even go route one. He's done it before. We've done. I think was it Jackson's first goal against West Ham? It was route one. They were trying to high press us. We just ball over the top. He ran onto it. We got them totally cold. He is prepared to do everything. That's why I think, look, we could be looking at, and I pray it's true, perhaps one of the greatest managers Chelsea has ever had, because he is actually quite responsible for how we've turned out. He doesn't want to flog his players. We had Tuchel. Tuchel came for, one season. He did an incredible job. But what did Tuchel do? He caned N'Golo Kante. Tuchel and Didier Deschamps were the last nail in the coffin of the fitness of N'Golo Kante. They really ran into the ground. Another one, Mason Mount. He didn't have the
He
strength
nearly killed
to
Mason Mount.
tell, yeah, he didn't have the strength to tell Mason Mount sometimes, mate, sit on the bench. Sit on the effing bench. I run this gaff, not you. But he fell to all this, oh, if you sit on the bench, I'm going to sulk or I'm going to look to go to another team. Listen, you do as you're told. If you don't want it, there's the door. He found the door anyway. So, he didn't have that in him. So he overflogged players. Players never got to rest. Rudiger will play 2, 3 games in a row, not resting. It's just that Rudiger, after he overcame his big injury, is quite a strong guy, and he's managed to, since that major injury he got when he came from Roma, he's never been injured like that again. So he's been quite fortunate with his body. But Maresca is sensible. He knows Romeo Lavia out for nearly well over a season. He knows you've got to manage this guy. Sometimes it takes them another full season to ever be anywhere near what they were, and he's aware of that. So he's managing his time. I hope he does that with Neto against Southampton. I don't want him to start. I want him to be on the bench because Neto is another one that you need to, because of the way he plays fast bursts. You've got to nurse him, and we need Neto through this Christmas period. So I think he's a very intelligent coach. I have my moments with him. I'm not feeling this KDH business and the way he's with Carney. I don't like that. I think it's wrong. I think that's where he's missing it. But on game day, you can't fault him. He's thinking, he's pragmatic, he makes changes in game, substitutions. He usually gets it right. I think it's been a long time.
He can be proactive too. He whenever things aren't
Yeah.
working, he changes them like this. It doesn't take him long.
Exactly. Change formations, back three, back four. At one point, I think I've seen him flirt between a back two, which I haven't seen in a long time. I think Mourinho played it once in a cup game where we had to come from behind and beat Spurs to flood the midfield, and then he'll drop back because his wing backs are so quick. He's excellent. I love the way he plays the back three. The sweeper sweeps in front and sweeps him back at the back, literally. So when I was talking, remember about the fact that we need that height and physicality in midfield against Villa. Part of the reason we were able to dominate Villa in midfield is without much notice, Levi Colwill was stepping into the DM role quite often. And I had a go at him for when uh
Fofana made
uh
that mistake.
yeah. And I was like, where the hell are you? You should be the sweeper there. But the reason he struggled to get back was because he was sweeping in front. And yeah, it was still a bit of his fault because the play had moved. But he stepped forward to sweep in front, whereas the ball had been lobbed over to Ollie Watkins on the flanks. And he didn't drop back in time. But hey, look, it just goes to show that that was his role. That's the point I'm making, because in the second half, he became more astute. He swept less in front and focused on sweeping behind, and he did well. No, Maresca has a lot. You can see this is a manager that works on the training field. And what I think really helps him is because he was a player himself, he plays in training with the players and they can see it. So his tactics are not just spoken to, but he actually acts it out with them on the field. Now, Pochettino was a player and not a bad one either, a defender, but he was less proactive in that sense. I don't think we've really had a manager that has been active like that in the training ground. Maybe Tuchel was as well, but look, this guy is somebody I have a lot of hope for. I really do. I
I do
think he's
too.
someone that can be with us for some time.
Yeah, I trust him. And look at how the attitude of the home fans have changed. You
Were they
know,
ever against him? We were never against him. It
no,
was
they
all
were
a
not. But
matter
you
of
know, they
wait and
say
see.
it's a result-driven business. At first, they were booing
Yeah.
players because we didn't really start the season well. They were booing players, but right now the atmosphere at the bridge is something to behold.
Well, they're singing Enzo Fernandez's name now.
Yep,
You know,
they're singing Cucurella's names and
Cucurella. You know,
yeah,
Cucurella. I don't know
all,
how to say that.
even it's all our players. You know, go ahead, Bobby, if you were still speaking. Sorry.
Which is good. You know, players like these things. You know, you sing their name, they feel that everybody wants to feel a part of something. And when they feel a part of the bridge, you know,
Yep, they
that
feel
was one thing
appreciated. They feel loved.
that was one thing I felt sorry for Pochettino for. I did, you know, when he said this, I really felt sorry for him because you could tell it hurt him a bit, but he was more or less appealing. He said, "Look, don't sing my name. Why will you sing my name? What have I done for you to sing my name?" And he was right, but it hurts. It shows what he means to them. He Pochettino never felt a part of Chelsea. His Spurs background haunted him. He would have loved to have been, and maybe he might have been remembered a little bit better had he won that Carabao Cup. But when he lost that, he knew he had lost the Chelsea faithful, maybe forever, because you know the road back needed some kind of huge victory. Now he did well getting us top six. You have to give him that with the squad he had. But everybody wants that. Look at how Tuchel reacted when he had his banner put up. You know, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. You know, your a banner, people singing your name. You feel a part of it all. I think that's one of the things that maybe hurt Kai Havertz a bit. The fans never really sang his name. They never really took to him, despite him perhaps scoring a goal that will forever have him in Chelsea folklore. You know, the goal that gave us the second Champions League. It will always be there. But he never had a banner. He never. I don't think they ever sung his name. I can't think of a name
No,
of a
no.
song that had Kai Havertz. So I think that hurt him a bit, you know, because he watched the
And he's
others.
bitter, right? He's bitter about it.
Well, I don't know if he's bitter about it. I know it hurt him a bit because he's watched the others have that sort of accolade. And to be fair to Kai Havertz, you know, I don't like him. I don't like what he said about us. But when he wore the Chelsea shirt, he always fought for us. Always. You can't fault Kai Havertz for not fighting. You know, people, yeah, his finishing was terrible, but he kept trying. And I think he felt he could have been shown a bit more love by the fan base. So yeah, certainly Enzo could end up being a huge hero at Chelsea, especially as he's wearing the captain's armband now.
Oh yeah. And I think it's lack of
Coach,
understanding. Yeah.
just to clarify, Havertz had one song and it went, "Oh Havertz, do you know? Oh Roman, do you know what that's word? Kai Havertz is the best on." That's the oldest song.
Really?
You're right. Yes, yes, I
Yeah. I
remember
don't
it
remember.
now.
Okay, but thank you,
Yeah,
Ty.
I
I trust you.
remember.
I'm just saying that I totally forgot
Kai,
about that actually.
Ty is
Um
right. Yeah, they used to sing that quite a bit. I
but-
completely, you
yeah.
know, forgot.
Yeah, Ty, the
I
Gyökeres
didn't.
news. Where did you see that Man United have opened talks with his camp?
It was a notification I got from Live Score. Um, I think that what was the source? I think it's a Portuguese source because they're trying to say Goycrest hasn't been your Chris, whatever his name is pronounced, hasn't been doing too well since Amorim left. So probably
I thought Amorim swore he
The,
wasn't going to sign
the,
players from there. I don't believe that because they still have
what
numbers in that department. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, what I've heard, you know, Man United are overstocked. I don't really know where he'll fit in. And the players they've got are newly there. They're on big wages. They're not going to be able to offload them that easily. So I have my doubts on that storyline. There was a storyline that Chelsea had already made a bid coming from Portugal. From the Chelsea end, they said they haven't done any such thing. This was reported by Fabrizio Romano. Also, they are saying that his €100 million buyout clause, which is about £80 million, still stands. Is anybody in this day and age ready to drop that sort of money? Um, I think this is one that can run to the summer. I don't think anybody's going to drop that money, certainly not in January. You know, you look who would really, maybe PSG, they got some money to burn. If they want to get rid of Colomani, will they do that? Will Gyökeres really be a fit for them? I think the rumors are going to go out there. My conclusion is that because there are so many rumors, I sense a little bit of desperation in maybe wanting to sell him. I think they're beginning to get concerned that his price tag may not be met. The player, since Amarin left, may start to get a little bit more itchy feet to go to a stronger league, vis-a-vis the Premier League, maybe La Liga, and they're trying to make sure that they get some money for him, so they're putting him out there. I'm not sure Amarin is still looking at what he's got before he starts looking elsewhere. What is this? His second game he's just played? Um, I do have my doubts with that story. It's everywhere with Gyökeres. It was Chelsea. Now they're talking Man United. Tomorrow they'll be talking somebody else. I know everybody's eyeing him up, but there are no concrete moves for him.
Because it's a signing that wouldn't make sense to them. But yeah, the next transfer window is January, and a few days from now. So um, we'll be hearing a lot of transfer rumors. Maresca is putting together a great team, and Chelsea leaders must support him in this idea and not sell our best players. We're not looking to sell anybody. But your concern is legit. I'm just going to leave it at that. Did you know that Tyler Diblin used to play for Chelsea, but he failed to settle at Chelsea, making 2 appearances for the under 18 side until he returned to Southampton. Wow. Okay. I prefer Benitez over Poch. I cannot lie. Yeah. Benitez is actually a much better tactical, again, more tactically equipped. You could say better tactically than Poch. Poch up close, I learned quite a lot. I learned quickly that, yeah.
The difference between those two was that I believe the players actually liked Pochettino. They were close to him. But the players at Chelsea hated Rafa Benitez. Just listen to the Obi Mikel podcast. They hated him.
Hmm.
They felt he would do things, he would never talk to them, he would never explain things. You know, players like to feel part of what you're doing. You know, not on game day, you then tell a player, oh, you're not playing. You know, he turned on John Terry, who was massive at Chelsea at that time. He wasn't liked by the dressing room at all, and of
And
course
you
the
could say
fan
before he
base.
joined us, Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong, he did make some, you could say, not so
Some comments
pleasant
about,
comments
yeah.
about Chelsea before.
Oh, the
Yeah,
fan
so
base will never forget what he
yeah,
said.
and
You know,
those were the same crop of players playing for Chelsea at the time that he made those
ex-
comments.
exactly. You know, we don't forget these things. It's like if someone like Jurgen Klopp turns up at Chelsea, he's not going to be liked. I don't care what he did at Liverpool. I promise you, the Chelsea fan base will not like him. They will hate him because he said a lot of derogatory things, and football's very, very, very tribal. Certainly in England, football is extremely tribal. Your club is your family. Your club is your clan. You don't cross those lines, especially at this top level. And there's certain people that just can't do certain things. Look at how it was for Pochettino before he came to Chelsea. I even went for his throat. I did not want that guy near us for dust. Remember, it was you that got me to calm down on your platform. If it wasn't you, I wouldn't have accepted him. It was you. You said, "Hey, just try and give him." And I thought, all right, I'll just cool it. But it's not easy to cross lines. I mean, goodness me, look at Spain. You try going from Barcelona to Real Madrid or the other way round and see what happens to you. Look at what happened to Luis Figo when he went from Barca to Real Madrid. They were spitting at him. They really. There are certain rivalries that is very difficult to cross over.
Yeah,
It's hard. Look at Sol Campbell when he left Tottenham to join Arsenal. To this day, Sol Campbell is a swear word amongst the Tottenham fans. They've never forgiven him. That's funny, but it's
yeah,
true. So
it's
no,
deep.
Rafa had problems at Chelsea.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and it makes sense.
well,
Yeah.
whether it makes sense or not, that's just football. That's how we are. Yeah.
I mean, it's a just you can say a justifiable hate, in my opinion. If you're in the chat, if you have any questions, drop it, and we'll try to address it. We'll be rounding up. We don't have too much time now. We'll go and use hunting once more. But who else, Bobby? Do you want to talk about that game? During that game, I'll start with Ty, and I'll come to you. But Ty, give me 1 second here. We cannot love a player if their finishing is weak and don't play well consistently. Coach, you have yeah, I agree. It's a good point. Ty, any player you want to talk about? I will go to again. We can always switch to Bobby to get his opinion. Are you done?
No players coming to mind, to be honest.
Yeah, they all did well, and the inverted role, I'd say Casado, he did very well in that position. I think with the manager, for me, I wouldn't say he stumbled upon. He was testing players there one by one. I think the perfect one so far, Casado starting in the right back position, inverting centrally, and yeah, it was just perfect in my opinion. But I know people will downplay that performance on the day, given Aston Villa's European assignments, yada yada, jet lag, tiredness, and all that. But they played at home. They were at home against, was that Juventus? I can't quite remember. But that's, by the way. Let's. Who else is worth talking about here? Bobby, any player you want to talk about? Anything else you want to talk about? I'm gonna go news hunting. But if you have anything else
Just,
or
just,
any play here, yeah.
just um, out of respect, I've got to speak about Mark Cucurella.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That guy, Cucurella's a funny player. He's always been. Um, how do I put this? He's always someone that gets involved. Let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
and he comes across
He,
as erratic.
yeah, yeah. You always see that flailing hair, and you look around as to who's carrying that hair around the pitch, and it's him. But he seems to have had a little bit of a evolution. The player we thought we bought from Brighton has appeared. And to be fair to him, that player started appearing from the end of last season. He took it. He took that into the Euros, and he's never looked back. Cucurella now is one of the first names on any of our major team sheets. He is a vital cog in the wheel. Is he a game changer? Not necessarily, but he influences the game. He defends well. He attacks well. He's tenacious. He plays with his heart on his sleeve. He plays for the badge. I'm so glad he has a song. And I'm so glad that he's just stamped his place in the squad. Cucurella is now an untouchable at Chelsea. I
He
don't care
is.
what anybody says.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he is.
you
Uh,
know,
uh,
he's
and here's the Bobby. Was something I wanted to ask you. Would you say his form? It's down to him. I wouldn't say. In my opinion, I wouldn't say it's down to him rediscovering his form. I'd say it's down to the fact that the managers. We have a manager who knows how to utilize him properly, which Pochettino didn't realize until towards the end of the season. He actually wanted him. He allowed again. He was for us selling him to Manchester United. He didn't like him. He played Colwell in the left back position even when Cucurella was available. So I'd say it's down to using him correctly. He's always been like that. Nothing changed. He's always been a good player. But he joined us at the time when we were struggling, and finger pointing was you could say a common occurrence at Chelsea at the time. For each game we lost, that's a player, yeah, to blame. At one point, it was a few games. It was Koulibaly. You can say we took tons of blaming players. I'm including myself because I have to generalize, but I didn't do that. Would you say, Bobby, it is down to him rediscovering his form, or the managers are realizing how to utilize him properly? I'd say the latter.
well, what I'll say first is that fortune stopped us from making an enormous mistake. I think somebody in Man United didn't move on and they pulled out of the deal, and I'm so glad they did. Because he wouldn't have been here. I think it was a loan with an option to buy. At one point, it was an outright sale. It would have been suicide. Yeah, that's right. They didn't want to pay the price we wanted to sell him for. It would have been a colossal mistake. But we are where we are now, which is in the right place. And you're right. It was about one, using him in the right position, and two, back to this thing about a player needs time to settle in a new club.
Mhm.
New club, new players around him, new manager. The manager himself was learning him. He was learning the manager. And somewhere along the line, out of necessity and injury, we needed him to play differently. And that's when they inverted him. And Cucurella never looked back since. Although I think his star started shining before that. It started shining when he was played at right back from left back. And it was seamless. We were like, oh wow, Cucurella can really do this. I think from then he started showing his versatility. They stopped the stupidity of playing him in the centre back position. That was suicidal because he's not, he didn't have the size, but they then moved him. They saw that he was always a player that would fit in and around the midfield. He would always go in and help the midfield. He would do the defensive midfield work. That was what encouraged his inversion from, as a left back. Look, he's priceless to Chelsea at the moment. You use him right, he'll play for you right. He's settled in. He's found his worth. They now know what he's about. There's no point playing him as centre back. No point playing him as centre forward.
He's a
Cucurella is what
consummate
he is.
professional too. Doesn't
Oh, he
complain.
is. Doesn't complain. Bring him off the bench. Do whatever. He doesn't complain. And I can see he's very good for the dressing room. He's a bit of a joker. A little bit of he looks slightly eccentric. His hairstyle tells you the story. And It's weird, anybody that walks
It
around
is.
with hair like that,
Bobby.
you know, it's just crazy. He doesn't tie it down, nothing. He's out there. He's out there like his hair. So, but
Hmm.
he's a lovable eccentric. He's one of those. I can't imagine him being um irritating. He's just a lovable, motivational eccentric. So I believe. I'm not in the dressing room
No,
with him.
you're correct. You're very correct, and I think he's mature. There's you can say he had leadership qualities in him. I've seen.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, and he's a lovable guy. His teammates love him. And yes, Tim, something I've always said about him. One of the things I've always liked about him is that even though he does come across as erratic on the pitch, still he's effective. He knows how to unsettle opposition players. And one thing is that he's capable of annoying opposition players, but the case can now be the opposite. He's always smiling. He only gets
Yeah.
annoyed at the referee or the linesman or the opposition
Yeah.
player if you could say his teammate starts a fight. But this
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
he's a special player, and yeah, we were close, so close to making a colossal mistake, like like you called it. I'm
Yeah.
happy he stayed. I never wanted him to leave Chelsea. Now I think you've heard me talk about that the last time we discussed Cucurella. That I'm concerned that eventually he's going to leave. But if we make an exception, because I think he deserves the club to make an exception to keep him. We can't just sell one of our best players. He's on the left hand side, but he applies himself on the pitch like a sweeper. You'd see him cleaning up after our right back or our right
Yeah.
centre back because he reads the game very well too. One thing
Yeah.
that people don't usually pay attention to is that he's an intelligent player and reads the game effectively. So I'm happy.
Honestly,
Yeah, go ahead.
so long as we have Maresca, I cannot, and anyone else, it makes no sense to me whatsoever entertaining even the thought of moving him on. It just doesn't make sense. That it's not like he's that old. I think he's coming up to 27. Cucurella has at least another good 4, 5 years left in him.
Even
And
if he
there's
gets to
gonna
30, you can play him in the midfield area as a DM and he will fulfill that role effectively.
E- exactly. And if you give Cucurella the captain's armband, you won't feel that the team will be slighted. If anything, the team will be enhanced. There's gonna come a time where that team will grow up. We're not always going to be the youngest team in the Premier League. And as they grow up, you're still going to need the mature players, and he's just going to be one of them. I can't see it, to be honest. I can't see it. He's on good
Mm.
wages. Um, there's no point. If his contract gets run down, the club will strike a deal with him. Will they slash his wages? Not if he continues like this. Honestly, there's no point because the other players, their wages are incremental and they'll be going up. If we go into the Champions League again and bring in more revenue, even better. I don't see it. I don't see it. Unless something really goes wrong, I don't see somebody of that nature and of that value to the team in the project that we've worked so hard and taken so much stick to build. They're not going to let certain things go. I
Yeah.
noticed Todd Bowley in the stadium when the team won. These guys have worked hard for this. A lot of it, I know people hate to say it and hate to admit it, but a lot of this is down to them. They want to see this through. They want to see the success of Chelsea, just like his Dodgers winning the World Series and all that. They want to see us lift the Premier Leagues, the Champions Leagues, the World Club Cups. That's what they're here for. And Cucurella can be a very big part of that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bobby. Sincerely, do I appreciate that. I think we've read that one. We have nothing else to address here. Let me see if anything new emerged as we were discussing the last items we discussed.
Coach,
Yeah,
right. On the topic of Kukurea, I'd advise people to go and watch the Chelsea versus Leicester City game under Tuchel. And you'll see how he applied Kukurea. You'll see that perhaps if Tuchel had stayed longer, how you would have used Kukurea, because he was actually um, closer to the midfield rather than the touchline as a fullback.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And this one here, this is the first time I'm hearing that too. Even Vince is asking FSA, never heard of them before. But yeah, Cole Palmer is named We Are the FSA Men's Player of the Year. He is the first Chelsea to win that. Is this the first edition of the award? But it doesn't
I'm
matter.
wondering
The
if this is the
player,
first time it's ever been. What is it? Isn't
yeah,
it like the first time? First
yeah,
time
that's
that hasn't
it
given out.
looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it. But irrespective of whether, yeah, whether this is the first time or not, not easy to win it in the first place. Any other thing anybody else want to talk about? We can call it a day now. I think we've been streaming for 2 hours and 19 minutes. I think it's been an excellent discussion, a good game. I'm not going to delete that one for a while. I'm going to be rewatching it over and over again because, yeah, a lot to learn from it. But that's, by the way, the most interesting thing for me in that game was the application of the midfielders, the somewhat box midfield. Yeah, 3-2-2. 3. You can call it 3-4-3, but no, not really. It's 3-2-2 because these guys they sit back. They don't venture forward a lot. So I wouldn't call it 4, even though it shows a box format here, but I think it's these two guys here, these two guys here. So 3-2-2. Yeah, 3 makes sense. Yeah. But despite the way, with that, we've come to the natural end of the show, and I want to say thank you to my Master 05, my Iraqi bro. Thanks to the beautiful game. Big up to you, brother. Who else? Thank to Jabalani Jamalo. Nice to see you. Ty also here. And if I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers. And by the way, sorry, before I round off, I redirected to Ty's channel. Ty will be doing a show. Let me look at the title again. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow, yes, 10 a.m. my time. So I will be there because, yeah, it's the show starts 1 hour, 30 minutes before my show. To Chelsea Perspective show tomorrow will start tomorrow. So once this show ends, you will be redirected to Ty's YouTube channel. Even if you're not going to be there, take a second, drop a like on the stream for him to help him garner more likes, and in turn, force YouTube to push the stream to more people if they're interested. So thank you to all of you. I appreciate you all. God bless us all. See you guys next time. Cheers.
In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say, I don't push pause.